Hello.
Hello.
Happy Dad Joke Wednesday to everybody. Good morning. Okay. Hope everybody is feeling good. It's going to be a long show. This is what Mock has informed me. It's going to be a long show.
It's going to be a long show, you guys. I just can't catch a break.
She's already like, oh my God. Okay. You guys, coming up on the show today, Trump's nephew is yet another Trump extended family member to cash in on his success and then trash him because that's what they do. These people. Kamala claims to be tougher on the border than Trump because y'all haven't been gaslit enough. And because people are complete morons in this country, Kamala is gaining momentum. Also, the acting director of the Secret Service argues with Josh Hawley. So yay! And Trump's campaign needs a serious boost because getting shot in the head wasn't enough to fight the commie machine. So he's going to be talking to a popular streamer. Going to be talking about that, all that and more on today's show. Make sure you're subscribed, clicked, pressed, subscribe some more, click some more, press some more, all the things, click all the buttons.
And then you can find the buttons at chicksontheright.com/links. So that's where you can find all the places.
All of them. All the places. And then after you've done that, visit knowyourriskradio.com and get your free common sense investing guide. That's a Bulwark. Okay. That's our friend Zach at Bulwark. And he will teach you all things about money. Knowyourriskradio.com. Do it.
Like we said, buckle in. It's going to be a very, very, very long show today. And I had such high hopes. I was telling you until about 6 o'clock at night, I was like, this is going to be a normal show. It's going to become totally normal.
This is our new normal. Our new normal is long, you guys.
I mean, I guess so. Because then in the evening, Kamala decided to have a rally. And then I had to listen to all the Twitter explosions about it. And then I had to capture it all. So yeah, it's going to be a long show. So just buckle in on this Dad Joke Wednesday. And by the way, Kelly Wiseman over on Venmo already sent a dad joke saying, how do you make an octopus laugh with tentacles? Tentacles.
I see what you did there.
She says, cheers to it's going to be a long show. All my love.
Cheers. Cheers.
She knew what was coming. And Dolly Duck over on Local says, DJW, it only takes me 10 minutes to walk to the bar. Oh, Dad Joke Wednesday. I was like, I don't know what DJW is. Dad Joke Wednesday. It only takes me 10 minutes to walk to the bar, but an hour to walk back. The difference is staggering. Love y'all.
I get it. Again, see what you did.
And then Aaron Powers says, happy Dad Joke Wednesday. What's worse than gay rights? Gay lefts. I'll see myself out. Just take my money.
Okay.
They're pretty bad. All right. And then we do need to kick off today's show with a Rumble rant. That's what they call them over there in the ball pit. And Tim, who is one of our moderators over on Rumble, sent this saying that Cara Dune 2021 sent in a rant saying, Missouri Tim is a bastard that the ball pit loves. Tim, I donated in your name. Daisy Mock 2024. So he explained that a little backstory is in order. When the troll bot from yesterday on YouTube was sending us super chats, he said, I said that for $1 that the ball pit can call me a bastard. So
there you go.
And
maybe I should
have said 5.
That's funny.
So thank you very much to Missouri Tim, who's taking care of everything while the nurse is out and she's getting her surgery. So nurse, keep thinking about Nurse Penny.
Nurse Penny.
And then in other sort of headline screenshot news, this was interesting. Elon went ahead and removed Nicolas Maduro's government official gray checkmark from his Twitter profile. Now, granted, that doesn't change the chaos that's taking place in Venezuela right now, but he is no longer recognized as the legitimately elected leader of Venezuela. So I thought, you know what? Good for you, Elon. Good for you.
Yeah.
And then in other great news, we have now rid the world of the top 2 Hamas leader. I'm sorry, 1 Hamas leader and 1 Hezbollah leader. And so they are gone thanks to the Israeli Defense Forces. And the overwhelming reaction to that should be joy and celebration. However, because we have crazy people in the world, the state of Qatar is now saying, "Oh, we condemn that. We condemn the assassination of the head of the political bureau of the Palestinian Islamic
of terrorists."
Yeah, they're condemning it, and they're saying now it's going to be really bad. So it's not bad when 12 innocent Druze children get slaughtered. It's not bad when October 7th happens.
I was just going to say when October 7th happens. Yeah,
retaliation is bad.
It's about to get bad. Like
oh my God,
there are still hostages.
Nobody remembers them. I mean, it's just insane. And then the BBC actually put out like an obituary on one of these jerks and didn't say a word about all of the terror that he's actually committed.
No.
It was like this just glowing
Again with the propaganda. BBC is like, God, what a trash. They're just total trash. He's such a great guy. This guy is just lovely. Whatever. Suck it, BBC.
Iran is, of course, warning that severe punishment now awaits Israel. So obviously things are escalating. None of this is going to be an easy road. I'm
so glad Kamala's in charge.
Right. And so glad she's speaking out about it.
Oh, yeah. No.
She is not. And then do you guys remember Talcum X, Sean King, that guy that pretends to be black who isn't really black? He is in mourning over the head of Hamas being assassinated.
Oh my God.
He's literally in mourning.
The dear brother.
Yeah.
Oh my God. This guy, what a piece of work.
And then he's like, I must admit, I'm furious because they murder people with impunity, meaning Israel. What the hell kind of take is this?
God, these people are so gross.
Oh my God.
As he's enjoying the United States of America, like the freedom that he has in the United States of America, like go there, go,
yeah.
You know,
see how welcomed you are.
Yeah. Talcum X.
Oh my God. And then this is like my favorite thing that I saw on Twitter yesterday. It said condolences to his widow.
I love her haircut. It's nice.
I mean, that
she's got it done.
Cutest goat ever.
I know. It's actually mean to the goat. It's mean.
Is it a goat or a sheep? I can never tell.
I think that's a goat. It's a goat, you guys. It's a goat.
Okay.
Yeah,
I just thought that was so funny and so like, wildly inappropriate, but also
actually
perfect.
It's completely appropriate.
I just love that.
He was a terrorist scumbag.
Much. Tell me you don't love that. Come on.
Yeah, you guys love it. It's the greatest thing ever.
It's not the greatest thing ever because the greatest thing ever is this.
That's true. The preventative powder.
Yeah, the preventative powder from Coat Defense. This stuff is a miracle worker. Did you know that in addition to like sprinkling this and then rubbing it into your dog to help with their skin irritation or itchiness or odor even, you can also sprinkle this all over your dog's bedding, and it will also help prevent some of the infections that cause them to have all those skin irritations and itchiness problems and odors. You can sprinkle it right on their beds, you guys. What?
I'm sorry, Steve just said, hey, Daisy, you should get a goat. Sorry. Continue.
You can also probably use this on goats. So if you want to get a goat, you could.
Absolutely.
And then you could also use the shampoo. They've got a line. This says dog shampoo, which is, of course, what I have is dogs. But you can also use their cat shampoo, their human shampoo, their horse shampoo. They've got shampoo for all the creatures. And the best part is it's totally non-toxic and it doesn't remove all the oils that are really good for your pets to have on their skin. Some of the other dog shampoos can just strip them of all that and it makes skin problems worse. So if you've been battling that, like itchiness, or if you see your dog start to chew on their feet, or chew on, other parts of their body that's irritated, that is the stuff that you need to cure it. You don't need to go to the vet. Try this first before you spend a bunch of money on antifungals and all kinds of prescriptions. Just don't. Just go to coatdefense.com. Use code CHICKS. When you check out, you're going to save 15% off your entire order when you use code CHICKS at coatdefense.com. All right. Biden is still president, allegedly. And
really?
So,
where is he?
Well, he was flying back from Austin. And I think this was when he was coming back. It was late at night. And he caught up with reporters. And it's hard to hear this. So I'll just sort of set this up for you. One of them asked, what do you want your Gen Z legacy to be? Okay, so if you can't hear the question, that's the question, and here's what he answered.
Come over, let's seen her so late.
Mr. President, what do you want your legacy for Gen Z to be?
Cure the economy
What are you going to
and the environment. And a few other small things.
He cured the economy and the environment and a few other small things.
That's definitely not going to be your legacy with Gen Z. They're going to remember him just like we do as the old senile dude that got pushed out by a coup.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that a bunch of people, including Kamala, kept secret. Mm-hmm. They knew that he was this bad. They knew it all along.
Yep.
Oh my God. So there was that. And then of course, KJP continues to be his spokesperson, which has to be like one of the most ridiculous jobs to have ever. And of course, she's terrible at it. But I liked that Jackie Heinrich called her out, or called him out through her, on all of this sudden, I want to transform the Supreme Court completely, because you guys might remember that he had a commission, like he had a whole commission study how and if the Supreme Court should be reformed. And they came back and they were like, yeah, probably not. Like, it's been working, so we should probably just leave that alone. So Jackie was like, so what's changed? Why aren't you listening to the commission? And this is how that exchange went.
I'm trying to understand how we got to this in the last week, because you brought up the president's commission. His commission also found on term limits that a statutory change for term limits, for instance, would be inherently unstable, underscored constitutional doubts, said that the composition would generate greater uncertainty and distress. The president himself, on the campaign trail in 2020, said about term limits, presidents come and go, Supreme Court justices stay for generations. I'm not trying to change that at all. It was 2 different days he spoke to this. So how did we get there?
First of all, he appreciates the commission, he appreciates the work that they've done. Their job was to give the president some thoughts and ideas, and obviously the president makes the final decision on how he wants to move forward. We have to look at what the Supreme Courts have done. Wait.
That was 2021.
Gotta hate it when she does that.
Let me answer the question. I'm not done. Let me finish the question. In the past several weeks, the actions that the Supreme Court has taken in undermining democracy and the rule of law.
Are you freaking kidding me?
The president felt he needed to address this. Remember, we were supposed to go to LBJ Library 2 weeks ago. And we went 2 weeks ago, this past Monday, yesterday. And so the president still wanted to move forward, still wanted to make sure he addressed this important issue. I mean, just look at what the Supreme Court has done these past few weeks.
Yeah, they've made decisions. They've made decisions, and they're allowed to do that.
In conservative favor.
Exactly, and because he didn't agree with some of those decisions, he's going to flip the game table. Mm-hmm. You're not allowed to do that. That's not the way it works. And then they claim to be the big arbiters of democracy. This is not the way things work, KJP. Because she's like, oh well, he looked at some of the decisions that they made, so he's basically gonna flip the table. Oh my God, your answer sucks. It shines a huge light.
Do anything without like some serious congressional changes and constitutional amendments, which are unlikely. But the fact that they're starting this conversation, like we said, this is what they're good at. They want to plant the seed, get everybody riled up, and then they actually make things happen. And it's terrifying.
Yeah, it is terrifying because I just worry because if Kamala does get in office, so much of this commie crap is going to come to fruition. I just look at Venezuela, you guys, and it freaks me out.
Yeah, it should, because it's painting a picture of what happens when you allow your country to be taken over by the leftist of the left.
Mm-hmm. They're commies.
This is what happens. Yeah. And then, Joe Biden, even though, didn't he just call, like after the assassination attempt, he called for, what did they say? Toning down or cooling down the temperature?
Yeah. Taking the temperature down, the rhetoric and all that bull crap when he was responsible for the high temp rhetoric.
Right. And so, and ever since he even said that, it's continued to be ridiculous. They continue to call Trump a threat to democracy. Mm-hmm. So a different reporter, excuse me, I don't know her name, but a different reporter called out Biden for saying these things continuously. And isn't that a call to violence? I don't even know how to prepare you for how much he has been very clear you're going to hear in this answer, but it's a lot.
President Trump did an interview where he said that maybe being called a threat to democracy was a cause of his being shot. How would the president respond to that?
What I will say is the president has always been very clear when it comes to violent political rhetoric. There is no place here in this country,
for when he
in our
says it.
nation for it. He's always spoken about that. He's spoken about that for the past, the past several years throughout his career. And, right after the assassination attempt, the president said, he even made an address in the Oval Office and talked about lowering the temperature. He talked about getting to the bottom of this, having an independent investigation, and how important it was to do just that. And I talked about Charlottesville. We saw how the president spoke against January 6th. The day that, and I remember this, the day that January 6th happened in 2021, the president was then president-elect. He was supposed to talk about the economy. He took that opportunity to denounce what happened. 2,000 people went to
the
Capitol. A mob went to the Capitol. Law enforcement officers were harmed. Some of them lost their lives afterwards. And he condemned that. He condemned the political violence. And they were doing that because they were trying to overturn free and fair elections. When Paul Pelosi was attacked by a hammer, the president also spoke out about
what the hell is she talking
violent
about?
Political rhetoric, and where we will, what happened, how horrific that was, and violence has no place.
What about Steve Scalise?
In this country. So, if anything,
what about Rand Paul?
Constantly and proactively called out on all Americans to come together and oppose political violence, regardless of our views.
Yeah.
Such nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, a nice tangent there, KJP. Really appreciate that. And always start with Charlottesville. Always.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm surprised she didn't say nice people on both sides, which has been debunked like 15 times to Sunday.
I know.
Trump got a week after being shot in the head. He got a week of press that they were so uncomfortable to even show that picture, which, as we know, has been taken down in a bunch of different places. I don't know. This is like disinformation. This picture.
Well, but that was a mistake.
It was a mistake, you guys. I mean, I don't even think it was a full week he got. And then we're back to, he's a threat to democracy.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we're back to. They're so full of crap, these people. It's such a propaganda machine. And we know what's happening. People who have critical thinking skills see what's happening.
Leah, thank you. Leah says, on the plus side, a swanky first class room has just opened up at Qatar's most expensive hotel. Bye-bye, honey. Well, and who gets the money? Like, I don't know what the family said, because aren't all of his sons dead? Like, wasn't he celebrating the fact that his sons were martyrs?
Well, probably is.
Where does that money go?
To the 15 goat wives. It's where it goes.
Curio23 says, what kind of dance are frogs best at? Hip hop.
Oh, yeah. That's good.
Kim Poole says, thanks, Mock. I snorted coffee all over my laptop with the goat picture posted by Turd Ferguson. Ha ha. Shannon Pope says, what does a nosy pepper do? Gets jalapeno business. She says, dragon butt this morning, but I got to see the Doobie Brothers last night and it was amazing.
That's fun.
Randy Craig says, I hear Coat Defense started a new line for killer whales, Shamu shampoo.
Oh, there you go.
The photo in the story, thank you. They say Kamala laugh equals sad, Mock's laugh equals joyful. Well, thank you.
It is very joyful.
I don't want to sound like a cackler. I probably do sound like a cackler to people that don't like me, but whatever.
Well, they can suck it.
The Brian Brumley, thank you. He says, stole this from Tim Foolery, aka Dances with Daisy. How do you keep how do you keep the chicks in suspense? Please relieve me of my money. He never gives an answer. Get it?
No, I get it. I totally get it.
All right. We need to talk about Fred Trump. If you've never heard of Fred Trump, congratulations. You were exactly like I was yesterday. I had also never heard of Fred Trump until he started making the rounds on various talk shows. He is the nephew of Donald Trump. And he has decided, after years and years and years and years and years of taking Donald Trump's money to help care for his disabled son, that now is a perfect time to write a trashy book about Trump.
God, what a piece of shit.
To go on all the talk shows and trash Trump, insist that he doesn't want his I guess it would be great nephew to even be alive, and to endorse Kamala. That's what he's busy doing right now. It is unreal. And I think, yes, that is Mary's son.
It makes all the sense if it's Mary's son. Yeah.
Makes all the sense in the world. And so here he is, I think this is with ABC, talking about how Trump isn't just crazy. He's a whole different level of crazy.
Complex and sometimes cruel. And within every family, people know this, families are complicated. Every family has their crazy uncle. My Uncle Donald is atomic crazy. And he has put his mark on the family history.
Atomic crazy?
Yes.
What's that mean?
Means he does things that, even as much as I know him, when he's out there now, I sort of shudder and say, is this the same guy I knew? What's making him change? What got him this way?
Then give all the money back.
Well, exactly. And this whole thing about where they talk about the money and how much Donald Trump has helped him.
Oh my God.
For him to be this ungrateful.
What a dick, this guy.
Oh my God.
I cannot with this. Listen, y'all know I have this total dysfunction in my family. I get so enraged about crap like this. If I were super rich and famous, my family would do this to me. They would be like, let's do a tell-all and make money off of her. It enrages me when families do this. Make your own money, do your own thing. You are so unsuccessful and you're such a loser, kid. You can't do it on your own. You take his money and then you turn around and you say bad things about him. What a complete pathetic loser this guy is.
And just a total grifter, right?
Yeah, he's a grifter.
And I don't believe what you're about to hear him say about Trump and his son. I don't believe it. And I'm a person who has a son with disabilities. I'm well aware of what that's like. None of this rings true for me whatsoever. He seems like a greedy, bitter,
just like his mom.
His uncle was elected president. Fred Trump says he saw an opportunity to advocate for the disabled.
I was in the Oval Office 12 times and that was our mission, to advocate for people with complex disabilities. It culminated in May of 2020 in the Oval Office. Donald was there, and he was very gracious. Several other folks were there, including the group that we brought down. We dispersed. I was asked to go back and see Donald. He greeted me with his familiar, "Hey, pal, how's it going?" We sat down for a bit, and he just came out with, "These people, all the expenses, they should just die." He's talking about human beings who have complex issues.
And a word of this.
The first thing he could say was, they should just die.
Fred claims this wasn't isolated, describing a phone call to alert his uncle the medical fund set up by the family for his son William was running low, a fund he says the former president consistently replenished.
A couple of years ago, I called him. I said, "Donald, the fund's running out." And without hesitation, he said, "Your son doesn't recognize you. Let him die and move to Florida."
Were you surprised?
That's a great question. My response was, "No, Donald, he does recognize me," and said, I'll thanks, and hung up. Was I surprised? I don't think you could hear something like that and not be surprised. But that is what he has become. It's sad.
I don't believe a word of this.
Same.
Not a word.
I believe he took all the money.
Yeah,
I totally believe that
He took all the money, and I bet he spent it on himself. What a complete, absolute grifter. That's what I believe. I don't, and I can just tell by looking at his face, this guy's a liar.
I mean, and of course, you know, the timing is what it is with purpose, right? I mean, he's doing this timing his book release right before the election.
Exactly.
It's so transparent.
It's
what a grifter he is.
And gross. And he's all about the money.
Seriously.
All about the money. I went to the White House like 9 times.
12.
I'm sorry, 12 times. Even worse. And wow, gross. This guy is gross. Yeah, I hope you can live with yourself. And one day you're going to have to meet Jesus. Have fun with that. Gross.
He went on The View, of course, and they were delighted to have him because he took that opportunity to endorse Trump's opponent.
I believe in policy over politics.
Yeah.
And
really,
without question, Kamala Harris's policies are what I get behind. So I will be voting for Kamala Harris.
No one gives a shit who you're voting for.
And if I'm asked, I will campaign for her without hesitation.
Good. And
yeah, beta males for Kamala. That makes sense.
So Eric Trump, I haven't seen any comment on Don Trump Jr.'s, or at least I hadn't last night. I haven't checked this morning, but Eric Trump last night said it's disappointing that after decades of unwavering love, support, golf memberships, family vacations, and millions of dollars in support for his wonderful son, Fred Trump has decided to cash in less than 100 days before an election. I have signed the checks and witnessed firsthand as my father and our family have provided endless financial support so that Fred's son could receive the best possible medical care. To read this garbage and see that he has now followed his troubled sister simply earn a quick buck is disgusting, disheartening, and a prime example of no good deed goes unpunished.
Okay, so it's not his mother, it's his sister. Mary is a sister.
Mary is the sister.
Mary is a sister. Yeah.
And he was probably like, why can't I get in on this action?
Yeah, I need to get on this grift too, because you're making money off of it, writing a book. I'm going to do the same thing because we are losers and we're not successful. So we're going to glom off of him. Since the gravy train only applies to my son, apparently, I'm going to get in on it too. What a complete piece of crap. These people are so gross. I cannot stand family like this. Gross.
Yeah. It just makes your skin crawl, you know?
Yeah.
He's just vile. When you guys need an uptick of energy, I hope that you're considering Focus and Recall from our friends at healthycell.com/chicks. So this is just one of many of their supplement gel packs, which gets absorbed into your body 165% better than any pill, tablet, or capsule ever could. This particular blend is peach flavored, which I love. It's one of my most favorites. And it's got 11 pills worth of brain supporting nootropics in it. You can take it straight, which it's delicious if you do that. But I know some people even like to mix it in with water or like make a frozen concoction from it. There's so many different ways that you can take it. But honestly, you just rip the tab off, squeeze it, just eat it up. It's like a treat. And it's so good for you. This is just one of many. We also take hair, skin, and nails.
Love that
one. I take the Vegan Essentials as a multivitamin. You take the Immune Boost. There's so many different things that you can take for whatever your supplement needs are. This is the bomb. And you're going to get your actual money's worth because your body's going to absorb it way better than it's absorbing any pills or. And
just as an aside, it's really good for teens. Like teens who don't like to take a bunch of pills and you need like good immune support or whatever. If you just they're awesome for teens because they're easy to take.
Really easy and they taste good.
Yeah. It's awesome.
That's a great point. If you want to boost your brain power and stay productive with the Focus and Recall, you can get it from healthycell.com/chicks. Make sure to use promo code chicks because you'll get 20% off your first order. So take advantage and visit our friends, healthycell.com/chicks. My name today is after Molly Jong-Fast, who appears on, I forget what, if it's CNN
MSNBC. I think it's MSNBC. Yeah, because that's where all the weirdos are.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of weirdos on CNN, but
super weird.
MSNBC corners the market on the weirdos, you know?
Yeah, she's like extra super duper weird. And so she and I'm not saying that in like the new trendy JD Vance's weird way. I'm saying it like
she's legit weird.
You can just look at her and
you'll see. You'll see.
Yeah. And so she was very, very, very busy blocking people, including us, on Twitter yesterday for retweeting an appearance of hers on MSNBC where she accuses JD Vance of only wanting to populate the country with white kids.
That's so weird. Who's going to tell her?
Who has children of color?
Who's going to tell her?
Oh my God.
I know, right?
It was so dumb. And she immediately got called out. And then everybody who was retweeting it, she started untagging herself and then blocking those people. So she spent all day doing this. I can't tell you how many times I retweeted it and made sure to tell people, keep doing this, because this is all she had. This is what she spent her entire day on. So what you're going to see is the clip of her saying the ridiculous things and no pushback. No pushback.
The stats are there. More and more Americans choosing not to have kids, which again emphasizes why J.D. Vance's comments about childless Americans, childless cat ladies, could be so politically damaging.
Well, so what's interesting is this is this natalism that comes from an authoritarian playbook, right? That there need to be more white children, right? That's the idea that there's, this is about great replacement theory, racism. Right? This is what this is. So don't misunderstand it for him wanting more children. He wants a certain kind of, racist thing.
She's just completely unaware. It's like she didn't know who he's married to. These people, they just assume. They just totally assume everything. And then all of a sudden she was like, oh, shit. He does. He has kids that aren't white. So what am I going to do with that? Oh, I'll just completely go through all of my Twitter feed and just pretend that I didn't say that. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Well, you said it. You said it because, because again, these people are the ones who are so fixated on race because they're the racists.
Exactly. I loved how called out she got.
Oh my God.
It was like a thing of beauty. I enjoyed it very much.
She looks mental.
Well, she actually, I read somewhere that she has a bit of a history of having some depression or whatever. She looks like a miserable human.
She looks miserable. Like a character on Scooby-Doo is what she looks like. Like she's going to go looking for clues. She looks crazy.
Oh my gosh. Let's see. Math Nerd Knitter said, I tried to make a joke about ghosts, but I couldn't. It had plenty of spirit, but no body. I couldn't even deliver that one well. Like that one.
She tried.
That was a little.
She tried.
You're going to need to up your game on that one a little bit. Genius the First said, my boss told me to have a nice day, so I went home.
Yeah. It's a good call. Good choice.
Grammy Karen says, remember Jimmy Carter's brother? He was an embarrassment as well. I actually don't. I don't.
Oh my God. You don't remember? It was Billy. Wasn't it Billy?
I don't remember that.
You don't with the teeth?
I don't.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
I don't.
It was, and the beer. Wasn't there a beer?
Was there beer?
He had his own beer. Am I wrong about that? I feel like I didn't block. Yeah. Billy Beer. Oh my God. I remember that. The things I remember from my childhood. That's right.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Jennifer Eusterman says, dad joke, what's the difference between God and a surgeon? God doesn't think he's a surgeon.
Oh, look at that.
I mean, some surgeons are fine. Let's not knock all the surgeons.
Not all of them think they're God. That's true. Some of them work with God. The good ones.
That's exactly right. Leah says, regarding the dangerous rhetoric of KJP saying SCOTUS is undermining democracy, remember when protesters were outside the homes of some justices last year and Biden did nothing to protect them from that illegal action? That's exactly right. Neither did the DOJ.
You're right.
Teresa Raimundo says, my family too, Daisy, and I'm an only child. However, I am married to a man who has crazy relatives.
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy out there.
And BTK says book publishers are one of the DNC's money launderers.
I believe it.
Interesting indeed. Okay. All right. We also need to cover what happened in a congressional hearing yesterday with the new acting director of the Secret Service, as well as one of the heads of the FBI, because there was some fiery testimony that was given. This guy, I think his last name is Rao, the acting director. He had a lot to answer for. In his opening statement, he talked about how this was a massive, massive failure. So he stated the obvious, but what congressional members were really looking for is who is going to finally be held accountable. And that did not go well. But we'll kick it off with Jesse Waters talking about this email that was uncovered and then promptly hidden that also got a lot of attention yesterday.
Secret Service counter sniper is predicting another assassination attempt before November. In an email obtained by Real Clear Politics, a Secret Service agent with 20 years experience on the counter sniper team is announcing he's going to blow the whistle until all of his supervisors are fired. The counter sniper says his mission is to prevent another JFK-style assassination. And the only reason that hasn't happened is because they've gotten lucky. He says Secret Service leadership is corrupt and states clearly, quote, "We all should expect another assassination attempt to happen before November.
Oh, my God.
We've exposed our inability to protect our leaders due to our leadership." After this email went public, it was wiped off the Secret Service servers. There's a massive cover-up underway, and it's spilled over into Congress. After Cheadle resigned in disgrace, her number 2 got promoted and testified today that the Secret Service screwed up, but the local police, it was really all their fault.
Oh, my God.
30 seconds. If it's communicated directly to a counter sniper team, would that be enough time to react prior to the firing of those shots?
Senator, if we'd had that information, they would have been able to address it more quickly. It appears that that information was stuck or siloed in that state and local channel.
Pointing fingers at the police. I just can't.
And I had hope for him. Like when it first started, I thought, okay, well, it does sound, again, like he said in his opener, like he really gets how bad of a failure this is. And so heads are going to roll, right? I mean, listen to him talking about, because he went out there to like look at the scene afterwards. And he even went onto the roof where the shooter was to see what his vantage point was. And this is what he said about that.
Actions as acting director was traveling to the Butler Farm Show site to better understand how our protection failed. I went to the roof of the AGR building where the assailant fired shots, and I laid in a prone position to evaluate his line of sight. What I saw made me ashamed.
It should. It should make you ashamed, Dilbert. You should be really, really ashamed. Just saying. Like they should all of them should resign.
He reminds me of.
Yes, Dilbert. You were thinking it. I know you were. You just you couldn't verbalize it. I know. I can tell.
Oh my God, that's so perfect.
What is that hair? What is it? What is his hair?
It's a very
oh my God. All of these people are so inept. They can't do their jobs. I can't.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I'm going to try to be fair.
Oh, really?
Okay. He has been on this particular job. Now, granted, he was the number 2, so he's got a lot to answer for.
Yeah.
But he's been acting Secret Service director for about 7 seconds. And so
he's still trying. He's like, where's the bathroom? I'm trying to find the bathroom. And where's my desk? I don't know where anything is. Right. Y'all give me too many questions. I can't handle it.
So Josh Hawley lit into him. And this clip runs a little bit long because there's no good place to break it. And they get heated. Just watch
this. Who was the lead site agent who made the decision to leave the AGR building completely outside of the security perimeter? Who was that?
Senator, I cannot give you that name. This person is operational. They're still doing investigations. They're still doing protective visits.
Have they been relieved of duty?
Senator, they have not been relieved of duty.
I know their name, by the way. Why have they not been relieved of duty?
They are still cooperating, not only being interviewed by the FBI, but also by our Office of Professional Responsibility. Why? And we will let the facts of the mission assurance and any further investigations play out.
Isn't the fact that a former president was shot, that a good American is dead, that other Americans were critically wounded, isn't that enough mission failure for you to say that the person who decided that building should not be in the security perimeter probably ought to be stepped down?
Senator, I think you're using the word decided, and I think we need to allow the investigation play out to include.
So who did make the decision then? If it wasn't the lead site agent, who made the decision not to put that in the security perimeter?
Senator, you're zeroing in on one particular agent. I want to find out exactly what was the entire decision process. So I think I want to be neutral and make sure that we get to the bottom of it and interview everybody in order to determine if there was more than one person who perhaps exercised bad judgment.
Well, sure. My question is, why don't you relieve everybody of duty who made bad judgment? So yeah, you're right. I am zeroing in on somebody. I'm trying to find somebody who's accountable here.
And
you're telling me that the person who made the decision not to include this in the perimeter has not been relieved of duty. What about the person who's in charge of the interoperability of radio frequencies between local law enforcement and Secret Service? Has that person been relieved of duty?
No, Senator, because interoperability is a challenge, is a greater challenge than just one person. On that day, we had a counterpart system. It failed.
As the person who made the decision to send Donald Trump onto stage knowing that you had a security situation, has that person been relieved of duty?
No, sir, they haven't.
Has the person who decided not to pull the former president off of stage when you knew that, in your words, the locals were working a serious security situation, has that person been relieved of duty?
No, sir. Again, I refer you back to my original answer that we are investigating this through a mission assurance. And as opposed to zeroing in on one,
what more do you need to investigate to know
exactly what the decision-making process was?
Investigate to know that there were critical enough failures that some individuals ought to be held accountable? I mean, what more do you need to know?
What I need to know is exactly what happened, and I need my investigators to do their job. And I cannot.
A lot of people didn't do their jobs.
I cannot put my thumb on the scale. Otherwise,
what do you mean put your thumb on the scale?
You're asking me, Senator, to completely make a rush to judgment about somebody failing. I acknowledge this was a failure of the Secret Service.
Is it not prima facie that somebody has failed? A former president was shot.
Sir, this could have been our Texas school book depository. I have lost sleep over that for the last 17 days, just like you have.
Somebody to
I will tell you, Senator, that I will not rush to judgment, that people will be held accountable, and I will do so with integrity and not rush to judgment and put people unfairly persecuted.
Unfairly persecuted?
Unfairly,
we've got people who are
we
dead.
have to be able to have a proper investigation into this, Senator.
You said earlier that you've got to make sure that your protocols are followed, and unless there's a protocol violation, people wouldn't be disciplined. I would just say to you, I don't really care that much about your protocols. I think if your protocols don't provide for the fact that when a former president is shot, when an American is killed, when other rally-goers, innocent people who just showed up on the day, when they are shot at and critically wounded, if that isn't a protocol violation prima facie, you should revise your protocols.
Senator, I think this is where you and I agree. This was a failure, and we will get to the bottom of it.
Well, I hope you're going to do something about it.
When? How long does it take? Listen, I mean, they fire people over not taking a vaccine. I feel like this is a fireable thing. I'm with Josh on this one. The fact that Cheadle's the only one that is gone, and she did it
because she got fired.
Exactly. She did it herself because she was shamed in a hearing because she's completely useless as a human being. And she didn't want to do it, but then everybody just forced her into doing it because she's such an embarrassment to human beings. And she's like, well, maybe I'll just step down. Maybe I'll do that. I mean, she was basically forced out. She's the only one. All of them need to be fired. All of them. I mean, my God, I just can't believe people can't see this. What the hell? It's like, what do you have to do to get fired in the federal government? What do you have to do?
That's a great question. Great question.
This is nuts.
Well, remember too how Christopher Wray testified and then caused all the hullabaloo. Trump was so mad, and rightly so, because he was basically suggesting that maybe it wasn't a bullet that hit Trump, that it could have been shrapnel or could have been glass or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then everybody lost their minds, and there were articles written everywhere. See, it was a total stage.
It may not have been. Maybe it wasn't an assassination attempt. Maybe it was just flying glass. Oh, okay.
So Senator Kennedy, God love him, he directed his questions to the FBI head that was there, not Christopher Wray, but somebody else that's high up, to get clarification on that. And it was so perfect and so typical Senator Kennedy in terms of the way that he got at the answer. You guys are going to love this.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Abate, Am I saying your name right?
Yes, Senator. Thank you.
You are the Deputy Director of the FBI, is that correct?
Yes, Senator.
Is there any doubt in your mind or in the collective mind of the FBI that President Trump was shot in the ear by a bullet fired by the assassin crooks?
Senator, there is absolutely no doubt in the FBI's mind whether former President Trump was hit with a bullet and wounded in the ear. No doubt, there never has been.
Okay.
I've been part of this investigation since the very beginning, and that has never been raised.
You're sure?
Yes.
It wasn't a space laser.
No.
It wasn't a murder hornet.
Absolutely not.
It wasn't Sasquatch.
No, Senator.
It was a bullet.
It was a bullet, Senator.
Fired
100%.
by crooks
Yes, sir.
that hit President Trump in the ear and almost killed him.
100%, Senator.
Okay. Glad we cleared that up.
Oh my God. I would have loved it if he was like, Ray is a ding dong. He's a ding dong. Take that, Neil Cavuto. Take it.
Oh my God. That was everything.
It really was. It wasn't a murder hornet.
All right. Moving on, because we got so much to get to in terms of the election stuff and what's happening with Kamala's race and all of that. But first, we need to say, Robin Zecca, thank you. Robin says, I got nothing, so take my money.
Thank you.
Curio23 says, I don't go to funerals that start before noon. I guess I'm just not a morning person.
Morning spelled with a U. I get it.
Tony McComey says, Fred's just weird. And Sue Ritchie, thank you very much for that super sticker. All right. Something amazing happened last night, which I was not expecting. And that is because Kamala is a lot of things. I did not think that she was arrogant enough. I mean, obviously she's arrogant, but I didn't think she was so arrogant that she would actually try to suggest that she is stronger on the border than Trump. But in fact, that is exactly what her new ad suggests.
Oh my God.
You're going to see that. But before you see that, because we're going to get to that, but before you even see that, Dave McCormick, who is running against Senator Bob Casey, and I forget what state that even is. Is that Pennsylvania? Is that California? I forget. He released a fantastic ad about the border because Bob Casey and Kamala are like thick as thieves. So check out this ad. This is exactly the kind of stuff that Trump needs to do more and more of.
An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal.
These are God's children. These aren't just throwaways.
Your immigrant status, whatever it is, does not in our mind's eye designate you as a criminal. I support our sanctuary law. Abolish ICE. And we need to probably think about starting from scratch.
It is wrong to deport 11 million people.
Deal with the problem. We have 11 million people here who need a pathway to citizenship.
Finally fixing our system so that we can give people a path to citizenship.
I am not for a wall.
A wall should not be confused with border security.
To suggest that we have to build a wall because there are terrorists who are trying to invade the country. It couldn't be farther from the truth.
Raise your hand if you think it should be a civil offense rather than a crime to cross the border.
Is the situation to any degree a result of signaling from the Biden administration?
No, the answer is no. Kamala Harris is inspiring.
And yeah, I am radical. I do believe that we need to get radical.
She's prepared right now to do this job. She's prepared to be commander-in-chief.
And yeah, I am radical. We need to get radical.
Pennsylvania. That is a good ad.
It's a great ad.
That's a good ad. And Trump also, this is like the first official like big campaign spend on an ad. And it's a good one.
Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message. This is America's border czar, and she's failed us. Under Harris, over 10 million illegally here. 250,000 Americans dead from fentanyl. Brutal migrant crimes, and ISIS now here.
Do you have any plans to visit the border? You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. I mean, I don't understand the point that you're making.
Kamala Harris, failed, weak, dangerously liberal.
And then I love this. This is not the best thing you've ever seen.
Oh my God. I swear. It's so accurate.
I mean, it's perfect.
And she has the audacity to say that she's tough on the border.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get to, because I couldn't believe it. But this is the level of gaslighting that Democrats have figured out that they're capable of doing. And
it's
that
unreal.
Cheap buy it. They buy it.
They do. Yeah, dumb people do buy it. There's so many dumb people, you guys. So many dumb people.
Yeah, I teased that too early. So, but I promise you, we will get to it because it's extraordinary. She too has released her first big spend campaign ad. Here it is.
The one thing Kamala Harris has always been: fearless.
Okay.
As a prosecutor, she put murderers and abusers behind bars. As California's Attorney General, she went after the big banks and won $20 billion for homeowners. And as vice president, she took on the big drug companies to cap the cost of insulin for seniors. Because Kamala Harris has always known who she represents.
This campaign is about who we fight for. We believe in a future where every person has the opportunity not just to get by, but to get ahead. Where every senior can retire with dignity. But Donald Trump wants to take our country backward, to give tax breaks to billionaires and big corporations and end the Affordable Care Act. But we are not going back. I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
What do we think? Good?
I mean, I know if some people are going to eat that up and think it's great, like Beyonce will share it and be like, oh my God, she's so great. Freedom. Woo. But I know that she's a commie loser. And the whole fearless thing, listen, you and I both know I don't know if we've talked about it on the show, but we have seen and heard from sources that she had to do mock dinners because she was so insecure about going to these fancy dinners in public. She didn't want to do it. And so she had to do mock dinners, like these political things, because she's not fearless. She's the antithesis of fearless. She's actually quite fearful.
Yeah. she's putting on a good show right now, though.
Yeah. She puts on a great show. When she is scripted, she's great. She's out there and she can do it. And when she has her notes in front of her, she can do all the things. I'm sorry, my dogs are having World War III behind me. I'll get them out of here. But she can do all the things. And I think people buy it, hook, line, and sinker. But when she's unscripted, complete and utter disaster. And she's an insecure fraud is what she is.
I'm actually really, really worried that the rest of her campaign is going to be set up just like Joe Biden's was last time around, where she hides and she gets out. Whenever she's out, she'll have a script.
Totally.
She'll all have her talking points, but she will not do sit-down interviews. She will not be seen with reporters taking tough questions. She will hide. And
I agree.
To the extent that is the case, it's going to be really good for her.
No, I totally agree with you 100% because they know that she's miserable when she's off the cuff. Don't put her on Charlemagne the God. Don't put her on show. Don't put her on The View. Don't do that. Well, I mean, she could probably do well on The View because it's a friendly. But the thing is that when she's in an interview setting and it's just like off the cuff, she's terrible. She's awful. Yeah.
And that's why I don't think she's going to be doing very much of it.
Nope.
I mean, the election is less than 90 something days away. So she doesn't have very long to hide. This is to her advantage, which is another reason I'm not feeling particularly optimistic today.
Right.
But we will try to have some optimism later in the show. I saw just this morning that she's expected to pick her VP by Tuesday, or perhaps before. And then they are going to start their a 7-state tour starting in Pennsylvania. So a lot of people are thinking now again that it could be Josh Shapiro, that could be who she's picking. So I don't know. But all of the choices have their own set of issues. Remember how yesterday we were showing how Gretchen Whitmer and Josh Shapiro were all like, look at us using curse words. We're so edgy.
Yeah.
He did that some more, Josh Shapiro, and is trying to suggest that somehow it's Democrats who don't shit talk America. This was more gaslighting than I could even fathom. But this is what he said.
And so I got a message to Donald Trump. Stop shit talking, America. This is the greatest country on the face.
Are you
of the
out
earth.
of your
Let's
mind?
start acting like it.
Are you out of your mind? You're out of your mind. This is the party that, oh my God, Democrats are the party that are like, we hate America. What's good in America? You can't make, I just saw a whole string yesterday where it was actually Black people saying when the whole Make America Great Again thing is terrible for Black people, because when was it ever great for Black people? Democrats. This is, listen, you can't make this stuff up. This is utter gaslighting.
Words, I mean, he even talked about how we still live with the consequence. These slavery and racism institutionalized our generations. Like everything sucks to Democrats. They hate our country.
They hate America. They hate it.
So for him to say Donald Trump needs to stop shit talking it,
right?
What in the world?
I mean, it's you cannot make this stuff up. It's God, it's like living with a narcissist, like abuser that is just constantly gaslighting and projecting on you. It's at some point you're just like, I have got to divorce this person. I'm at that point, you guys. I'm just at the point where I just want Texas. Just let us have it. I can't.
Governor Walz also a contender, I guess, and this was on the white men for Kamala call the other night, where he says, "Listen, socialism, that's just neighborliness." I mean, this is what they actually think.
This is my favorite.
But we can get out there, reach out, make the case, and for one thing, don't ever shy away from our progressive values. One person's socialism is another person's neighborliness.
Oh, yeah. It's super neighborly to hunt for your food at the zoo.
Oh, my God. The fact that they even think of socialism being neighborly.
Yeah, that should terrify everybody. It really should. Because another thing, too, I saw another string yesterday on social media where people that actually have lived in Venezuela and now they live here. They're like, you guys, I'm warning you. This is how it started. I'm just telling you, do not vote for these people. Don't do it. This is how it begins.
Yep. Another contender, Mark Kelly from Arizona, has his own set of issues to deal with, namely his daughter, Claire. So this was posted back in 2020. He said, I always love having my girls, Claudia and Claire, cheer me on at my space shuttle launches. Proud to have their support on this mission, too. Claire is a bit of a terror, and she's got some history. Now, not recently, but back in 2019, she said, I'm so proud of my dad for announcing his bid for U.S. Senate. But she is a wild child. So she posted this on her Instagram, basically saying, look at me doing drugs. And then she had a conversation over text that she also posted. Her dad wrote her and said, been busy today. I got one call and 2 emails about your Instagram account. I'm not interested in looking, but I suspect what you posted would not be in anyone's best interest, at least not yours or mine. She said, no, my Instagram's fine. Check for yourself. And he said, I'll pass. So she posted that to her Instagram saying, you that bitch, when you cause all this conversation, always stay gracious. Best revenge is you. She's a wild child, and she's going to cause him some problems. So all of the contenders at this point have some issues.
She's another Claudia Conway. She one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like Claudia. What is up with these girls, man? It's like they just didn't get enough attention at home. They didn't have the nurture. What is it? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm curious. Is she the oldest, the youngest? Which one was she?
I don't know.
Do we know?
I have no idea.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's going to be him. I think
you do.
Yeah. I think it's going to be Mark Kelly. That's who I think it's going to be.
Really? That they're gonna.
I've thought that for the past week and a half. So, if it is, listen. If it is, and they win, she'll be fun to watch, right?
They'll probably use her as a prop. All of a sudden, she'll be like their new shiny object. So,
she'll be the new hunter.
Exactly. Senator Durbin was on one of the talk shows where they asked him, hey, isn't it kind of a problem that Kamala is now shifting basically every position she's ever held? So like when she was running for president, she was super radical on all of these things. And now all of a sudden she's not. Don't you think that's going to cause people to have some questions? Here's how that conversation went.
Trump campaign and its associates have started running ads against Vice President Harris. And the New York Times this morning has noted how she has shifted some of her positions since she was first running for president in 2019 and 2020. I'm just going to read you a paragraph from the Times article. She changed her position on fracking in Pennsylvania. She released that just Friday. And the Times says, in addition to changing her position on fracking, campaign officials say she now backed the Biden administration's budget requests for increased funding for border enforcement, no longer supported a single-payer health insurance program, and now echoed Mr. Biden's call for banning assault weapons, but not a requirement to sell them to the federal government, which she had apparently backed before. How do you think voters feel, Senator, about a candidate who does shift positions?
Here we go.
Well, the issue may be so central to the campaign that it makes a significant difference. But I think the bottom line is the voters judge these candidates in their entirety.
That's the dumbest answer, Dick. It's really a dumb answer. No, we're actually looking at the different policies, and we know that she's full of crap, and she's just sort of like going wherever the wind takes her, you know, wherever she thinks she can get. She's just pandering is what she's doing. Plus, those of us who can actually think critically know that she's a total commie.
Yeah.
She's a radical.
She's trying to cover right now because she's got to appeal to the middle. But everybody, she's on tape everywhere. These things don't disappear.
Right.
And that's why Megan McArdle was like, I love that the defense of Harris right now is everything she said in 2020 was a lie.
Exactly. It's like, you didn't have Sunny Hostin. Do you have that today?
I do.
Yeah.
So next up, so now the new thing that they're going to try to do to her is call her a moderate, because as she's shifting all these positions, they are actually trying to paint her as someone who's like super loosey-goosey. And Sunny Hostin led the charge in this montage by saying, well, look, I'm like personal BFFs with her. And she's actually like so moderate, you guys.
I know the vice president personally. She's moderate.
In this area, she's quite moderate.
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking.
So would you ban offshore drilling?
Yes. And I've, again, worked on that.
Well, that was one of the reasons she struggled with progressives, is that they felt that she was too centrist.
She was running as a centrist Democrat.
Should black people get reparations?
Shut up, Alyssa.
I think there has to be some form of reparations, and we can discuss what that is.
She's a former prosecutor. Prosecutors are not really leftists. They put people in jail for a living, okay? They're pretty moderate.
An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal.
She hasn't been allowed to show her true self, and that is a tough-on-crime prosecutor that perhaps on certain issues is more right of center.
I think there's no question that we've got to critically re-examine ICE and its role, and we need to probably think about starting from scratch.
She's not going through a litany of left-wing priorities, and I don't think that's what they expected from her.
That's where she's most comfortable, where she is right now. She was uncomfortable 4 years ago when she was trying to appease the left.
Raise your hand if your government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants.
She has, spent her life being tough on crime.
She was seen as a centrist. She was progressives called her Kamala.
Defund the police. The issue behind it is that we need to reimagine how we are creating safety. For too long, the status quo thinking has been you get more safety by putting more cops on the street. Well, that's wrong.
I cannot believe that this unqualified hag could actually be president.
It's very, very, very possible.
I mean, it's unreal to me. I just can't believe it.
It's because there's so many dumb people.
Oh my God. It's remarkable how stupid we've become in this country, that this stupid hag could actually, she's so unqualified, you guys. Oh my God. It hurts my brain.
I know. And Guy Benson tried to point out, listen, you can't run from this record.
Harris is sprinting away from those positions, but they're all on tape in her own words. And if she ever decides to give an interview to anyone, she might get asked about this and explain, well, why don't you believe these 17 things you said out loud last time you sought this office? There isn't a good answer to that question, obviously. Believe her from 2019.
Yep. She wasn't uncomfortable back in that first primary. What a
again, though. Again with the rebranding. And it's only taken like 2 weeks. It's taken 2 weeks for them to do this. That should alarm everybody how effective the media is at completely brainwashing an entire populace. Like, you guys, it's effective. If nothing else, they're effective, and they do it all the time. They do it every day, day in and day out. This is what they do to the masses. And people are like, yes, sir, may I have another?
Please let me be your useful idiot.
Right.
That's what everybody's doing.
Everybody's doing it. Yeah, it's crazy. It's really scary.
This is why we try to remind people of what she actually believes. And so here she is back in the day, talking about having taxpayers basically fund surgeries for trans people in prisons.
I was Attorney General. I learned that the California Department of Corrections, which was a client of mine, I didn't get to choose my clients.
Right, a client of the Attorney General.
A client of the Attorney General, of the Office of Attorney General, that they were standing in the way of surgery.
For prisoners.
For prisoners. And there was a specific case. And when I learned about the case, I worked behind the scenes to not only make sure that that transgender woman got the services she was deserving. So it wasn't only about that case. I made sure that they changed the policy in the state of California so that every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access to the medical care that they desired and need. And I believe it was not only, I know it was historic in California, but I believe actually it may have been one of the first, if not the first in the country, where I pushed for that policy in a Department of Corrections.
These are her policies.
Yeah. That dude that she was talking to is probably like, I think I want to identify as a 13-year-old and swim on a swim team.
Right.
Okay. And she'd be like, oh yeah, that sounds about right. You could totally do that. Yeah.
God. And she's lying when she's now trying to shift her position about wanting to have mandatory gun buybacks. This has always been her position until literally this week. Here's a couple of examples.
Believe in the mandatory buyback of quote unquote assault weapons, and whether or not you do, how does that idea not go against fundamentally the Second Amendment?
Yeah. Great question. I do believe that we need to do buybacks. A buyback program is a good idea. Now, we need to do it the right way.
What's
part of that has to be, buy back and give people their value, the financial value.
What would you do about the millions of specifically assault weapons that are already in circulation? What do you do about those?
Well, there are approximately 5 million, to your point, Craig. We have to have a buyback program, and I support a mandatory buyback program. It's got to be smart. We got to do it the right way.
What is the right way? So she is suggesting that we buy back our own guns that we've already paid for. That's somehow she thinks that's smart. and that's dumb as shit, first of all. But the second thing is it's antithetical to the Second Amendment, which she's, and then this is a person who's like, oh my God, I'm all about democracy. And no, you're not, because it's totally against the Constitution of the United States of America. So GTFO, lady. GTFO.
And mandatory gun buybacks and all of this banning of assault weapons or whatever. This is how democracies and republics fall. That's how they fall. Yeah. Again, with the Venezuela, pay attention to what's happening there. Yeah. Because people and the thing is, people they don't know. They just don't. Well, yeah, because what they need to pay attention to is what happened to get them there. Right. Because it looks a lot like what's happening here. A whole lot like what's happening here. And then meanwhile, we've got like the mainstream press giving this kind of publicity to Kamala. She's a cook and she knows her LA restaurants. Will it help her win? Let's put her on the cover of Vogue 14 times. Let's do it. Oh my God. Propaganda. Pure. It is CCP propaganda is what they're engaging in. That's the level we're at. It's so gross. And if you can't see it, I can't help you with your stupidity. I can't. Happily, you're about to see somebody with blue hair speak some sense. And I was not expecting to see someone who looks like this person does to make so much sense. But, people will continue to surprise me every single day.
If Donald Trump gets elected, it's a threat to our democracy. Right. But your Democratic government, just putting somebody in the Democratic spot to race for the presidency without y'all choosing them is not okay and not not just that, it's somebody that y'all did not want back in 2020. But now all of a sudden, y'all are just like, okay, woo! Y'all are fucking dumb, which your government knew. And that's how they were able to do this. Knowing y'all would just go with it. That's why they cannot stand those of us that think for our damn selves.
She's 150% correct.
Right? Love her. Just was not expecting that because the blue hairs often are on the other team.
Yeah.
You know?
That's true.
Judge Joe Brown, not a Kamala fan.
This was beautiful. When I saw this yesterday, I had to watch it like 3 times.
I know.
I was like, you go. Go, Joe.
You guys are going to love this.
I got to ask you about Kamala Harris. How you feel about her?
She's a piece of shit. I was in California. She lacked professional competence, and she worked on it by hiking up her hemline when she needed influence rather than researching. She's always tried to do the casting couch to get where she wants. Now, the problem is that'll get somebody to a certain level quickly, but you can't get past that level if you don't have competence and talent. Well, so my thing about it is if I'm crude about it, in this city years ago, I used to represent a whole bunch of pimps and hoes, and I know a hoe when I see one. And I say this, I don't care, women, you do what you want to do if you want to have recreational sex, but when you do the casting couch or anything else for professional purposes to get paid or advance, you a hoe. And she's old hoe. And the problem is what is she supposed to do? One of her sycophant slaves comes up and unwraps her in a carpet naked at Putin's feet, and he says, oh, yeah, I'm Julius Caesar. He said, no, ho, I got better stuff here already. Plus, I don't want you anyway. You old woman. Get on up.
I cannot.
You know, or Xi Jinping, is he supposed to be impressed? She's doing word salad. Well, we're here today because China and the U.S. are here today, and that's why we have to agree on what we're doing here today. Like, fool, what did you just say? You know, did you say anything?
Fools. You know what? And you know what I think? I think Obama knows it too. Obama knows it too, which is why it took him so long to come out with that endorsement. He was like, damn it. I got to endorse this hoe? Okay, I guess we got to do it.
We're asking if that was real.
Yeah, it's real.
Yes, it's 100%
real.
That was not AI. I will always warn you when it's AI. That was not it. That was real.
That's Judge Joe Brown, and he had some things to say, and they were good things. And like I said, I think that the Obamas totally agree with that. That's just my personal opinion, and that's why they didn't come out immediately and endorse her, because I don't think they probably think that she is a stupid hoe. You know, and they're like, well, crap. Okay, well, what we have to do now, and this goes against what Joe Brown says, because, you know, it'll only take you so far. Well, unless you got a media that is with you and that'll prop you up like the CCP and make you into something that you're not, which is precisely what they're doing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly
it's powerful. Right. It's a powerful thing.
There is a new Kia model. Thanks to Jimmy Fallon. You're going to hear all about it right here.
Introducing the all-new Kia Kamala, the first car to go from 0 to nominee in 0 votes.
I really love Venn diagrams. You know, the circles, right? 3 usually.
The Kamala is affordable because it's made with cheap foreign labor that came here illegally.
And say we're not paying them nearly enough.
And while it looks small on the outside, the interior is as roomy as a big yellow school bus.
Who doesn't love a yellow school bus, right?
And best of all, the state-of-the-art GPS will take you everywhere, except the southern border.
This whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I don't understand the point that you're making.
The Kia Kamala. Critics agree it's not a smart car.
It's definitely not a smart car. It's not.
Okay,
it gets around though. It gets around. You know what I mean? That car.
Yeah, it definitely does get around.
Makes the rounds, you guys.
I promised that we would show everybody this unbelievable the gaslighting to end all gaslighting. which is that Kamala is now trying to take credit for being stronger on the border than Trump.
Here
this
we
is
go.
for real happening. But first, we have to thank some people. So Fooball Jesus, thank you so much. He says, had to retweet this show on X, Truth Unfiltered and Fun News Daily in the USA. Thank you for your service. Thank you very much for that.
Very sweet.
Connie Cannell says, I invited my daughter to join this morning. She has seen the lies that the left has been shoving down her throat for years. Not sure if she's here, but please welcome Vanessa. Hi, Vanessa.
Hi, Vanessa. Hello.
Jose says, morning from Texas. I don't have a dad joke, but do know a joke of a dad. See Fred Trump.
That's true. Yes.
Douche Elliott says, that's why Loomer shit talks back. Come on, girls. That's why Loomer shit talks back. Shit talks back. I don't know why. That was like 15 minutes ago, so I don't know.
Anyway.
Glenda Rouse says, double nickels today. Yay, you guys are the best. Thank you for being you. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Kristen Thompson says, what's a dolphin's favorite country? Finland. Have a great day, ladies. Donkey Hody says, why did Norway put barcodes on all of their warships so when they came back home, they can Scandinavian? Scandinavian.
You get it?
Get it? Yeah. Wendy Henderson, thank you very much. Mike Sassman says she may not be qualified, but she is Kamalified. Hashtag unburdened. Hashtag take my money. Joseph Groshek says, if Kamala Harris is a good black woman, how did she keep black men in prison to fight wildfires? Drow 92MK says, it's not centrist to say or do anything to your prospective employer to get the job. She's been doing it since giving Montel the jobs. Missy and Jack say, how can the government buy back something it never owned in the first place? It is called confiscation.
Right.
Right.
But we're the government. That's the thing.
It's our money.
It's our money. So like if you bought a gun and then you're buying it back, like they're buying it back, you're buying it again. It's like, they're idiots.
I know.
Good Lord.
Math Nerd Knitter said, what did the drummer call his twin daughters? And a 1 and a 2. And P. Benson 32 said, love the chicks. Thank you so much for that, you guys. All right. So here it is. This is the ad that I saw before the Georgia rally, Kamala's Georgia rally started. And that's when I realized that today was going to be a long show and that there was going to be a lot that we had to talk about with respect to this ad and the rally itself. This is for real. You've been gaslit plenty, but not like this.
On the border, the choice is simple. Kamala Harris supports increasing the number of Border Patrol agents. Donald Trump blocked a bill to increase the number of Border Patrol agents. Kamala Harris supports investing in new technology to block fentanyl from entering the country. Donald Trump blocked funding for technology to block fentanyl from entering the country. Kamala Harris supports spending more money to stop human traffickers. Donald Trump blocked money to stop human traffickers. Kamala Harris prosecuted transnational gang members and got them sentenced to prison. Trump is trying to avoid being sentenced to prison. There's two choices in this election. The one who will fix our broken immigration system and the one who's trying to stop her.
Oh my God. I can't. I can't.
I know. I'm so infuriated by it.
The people who believe that are, I want to say all the words. I would like, there's words I can't say. I'll get in trouble. They are mentally incompetent. They have problems. If you believe that ad after everything we've been through over the past almost 4 years, you need to seek help.
She is the border czar and has been in office for the past 4 years. You know who hasn't? Trump. He can't block anything.
Right. They undid his policies, and then they allowed like 15 million illegals in. And then she has the audacity to put that ad out. It's unreal. The gaslighting.
I know. That's why when I saw that, I was like, oh, then this rally, I'm going to have to tune into this rally because if this is these are the new marching orders, this is the new script. This is amazing. Like this is how you know that they know they can completely pull the wool over America's eyes and we'll fall for it because we won't, but you know what I mean? Like
Some people will.
They'll fall for it.
Yeah, especially the ones who are like, I'm voting for her because she's black.
Right?
That's what
Oh my God.
And so many people are doing that. Again, it's just like Hillary. I'm voting for her because she has lady parts. Oh my God.
Bill Melugin, very quick to respond to this, saying this new ad claims she supports increasing the number of Border Patrol agents, but in 2018, she signed on to a letter to Senate colleagues urging them to reject a request by Trump to fund more agents.
Preach it, good hair guy. Preach it.
Now, unfortunately, the rally, now they had Thee Stallion come to perform and like open up the show. And there is a question. I mean, I'm trying to be optimistic here. There's a question. How many of those people showed up for Megan because they just think her music is, and I use the word music lightly, like in all the air quotes.
Yeah.
How many were showing up for a free Megan Thee Stallion concert versus showing up for Kamala? There were some reports of people leaving during Kamala's speech. She spoke for about a half an hour. And that as soon as Megan was over, people started filing out. Now, the energy, I will say, and it was a very, very big crowd. This was like a Trump-sized crowd. It was off the charts. I mean, you can see this is before Megan even came out. The energy in this crowd there was a lot. That's a big crowd. And people are noticing. So Yashar Ali said this level of excitement, attendance, and engagement simply did not exist when Joe Biden was leading the ticket. Even though Harris was on the ticket with him, voters needed the jolt and the possibility of the first Black woman to be president.
Okay, but that last paragraph, again, with the identity politics, are people just not living? Are we not living in the same country?
We're not.
Have people not been to the grocery store? People not looking at the 401ks, people not looking at their cities, how unsafe they are. I mean, are we just not living? Do people just forget about all that crap when they go, oh, well, she's got more melanin in her skin, so I think I'm going to be a complete dumbass and like vote for her. I'm going to throw all that stuff out the window, every policy, and just vote completely and totally on the fact that she has melanin in her skin, more melanin in her skin than Trump does. Or they just hate him so much. They just want to be like,
I think it's both.
Neener. I hate Trump, so I'm just going to vote for this woman because she's Black. They forget what she's done over the past 4 years. And that just shows you how stupid you are. Mm-hmm. You're stupid. Congratulations on your stupidity.
Well, I mean, these are people that enjoy Megan Thee Stallion.
Oh my God.
This is a little bit of her performance.
Okay, so you guys want 4 more years of this?
But somebody did modify this in a very, very, very good way. And you'll see that right here.
That's my favorite. That is my favorite right there. Yeah. That's great.
They did have one mishap, and I don't know who this fellow is that was doing the actual like main introduction of Kamala, but it did not go well because she missed her cue, and so it was a little bit awkward. Here's how it went.
So honored to be introducing the next President of the United States of America, Vice President Kamala Harris.
God, what an idiot. She can't even show up to the podium on time.
Just a second.
It reminded me of like, welcome now the Von Trapp family.
It's, yeah.
Remember?
It's just nothing about this administration is good. Nothing.
When she did come out though, like, it was wild. Here is when she actually made her entrance.
God, the sheep. So many sheep in that audience. I just can't.
It's so depressing.
And then they'll
depressing.
bitch about the economy. They'll bitch about not being able to afford stuff. And it's like they just can't connect the dots. And I feel sorry for how stupid they are.
I know.
You know? Well, at the same time, I don't. You know, I want to feel sorry
angry because they're going to ruin the country, you know, and
for
we're
all of
part
us.
of that.
Right.
Yeah, they're going to ruin it for everybody.
We're already on the edge of a cliff, and it's like, you people are so effing stupid. And it's, you know, we're teetering on Venezuela and you just want to take us there. And I got to tell you, that pisses me off. I got kids and that pisses me off because you're just so ignorant.
Well, she's feeling very feisty, as you'll see, and she says she's willing to put her record up against Trump's any day.
In this campaign, I will proudly put my record against his any day of the week. Any day of the week. Including, for example, on the issue of immigration.
Oh my God.
Here we go. So just buckle in, because now we're going to get into the immigration stuff, which the ad was bad enough. Okay. But then when she says it herself, it's somehow even more infuriating.
Oh
you know
God.
what I mean?
Okay, here we go.
And here in this particular clip, she invokes one of the other guests, Quavo.
Donald Trump, on the other hand, has been talking a big game about securing our border.
Oh my God.
But he does not walk the walk. Or as my friend Quavo would say, he does not walk it like he talks it.
They're eating it up, man. They're eating it up.
God, these people are so effing stupid. I can't. Oh my God.
Compare how many people came across illegally during Trump. Now do Kamala and Joe.
They won't do it.
Do the math.
They're not doing that. They can't do math. None of these people ever took math. I don't think they took math.
Oh my God.
They can't ask him to do any math. They'll be like, I'm sorry, what? Oh my God.
So freaking aggravated. And so here she says what her pledge is about the border.
Oh my God.
So here is my pledge to you. As president, I will bring back the border security bill that Donald Trump killed, and I will sign it
What?
into law.
You reversed everything. You crazy biatch.
Show Donald Trump what real leadership looks like.
Okay. We've seen what your real leadership looks like over the past 4 years. You've been looking at yellow school buses and Venn diagrams.
Oh my God.
You've been unburdened by the border. This broad, I just can't. Somebody just made a great point. The entire audience is high. I believe it. They're all high.
Maybe that's the explanation.
That's what it is. I have to believe that because I can't believe that everybody there is that stupid. I can't.
You're going to have to, because remember, Biden is the president. I mean, that happened thanks to a lot of stupid people.
I have to believe that at least half of them are, in fact, high. Oh, my God.
Well, she's definitely working up this whole, Trump's not debating her thing because he's trying to play it like, I don't know who I'm supposed to debate because I don't have a nominee to debate with. That's not helping him. And she is, of course, using it to her advantage.
So here's the thing. Here's the funny thing about that. So he won't debate, but he and his running mate sure seem to have a lot to say about me.
God,
and by the way, don't you find some of their stuff to just be plain weird?
Here's the weird thing.
Well, Donald, I do hope you'll reconsider to meet me on the debate stage.
I do too. I hope so too.
Because as the saying goes, if you've got something to say,
And I hope he does. I hope he does. You know what? I hope he does. And I hope that when she calls him a criminal, I hope he comes right back at her with the hoe. Seriously, come back.
It's not going to play well.
I don't care if it plays well.
I really care. I need for him to play this right.
Listen, what is the difference? What is it? Is it because she's a woman? She's off limits to the slander? They slander him all the time. I get so sick of that. Just because she's a woman, she's off limits to all this stuff.
No, I didn't say anything about her being a woman.
The way she got to the place that she got. I mean, it's like the Joe Brown stuff. We played it. I mean,
but Trump doesn't need to because he has an actual record to run on. He needs to let everybody else say those
things. And he totally should. And he
needs to focus on, you guys do not feel what your grocery prices are. Let me explain how Joe Biden and Kamala Harris did that to you.
I totally
and why has happened. That's what he needs to do.
I totally agree. But she is going to come at him and call him a criminal and say he's a sex offender and all this. She's going to come at him personally.
And he can immediately go back and say, you have a corrupt DOJ that you sent after me. There are answers to all of this without him calling her a hoe.
Okay.
That is not going to help.
Right. He doesn't have to call her a hoe, but he can just like get a little dig in there and say something like, okay, like your past isn't great either. Do you want to talk? You want to bring up personal stuff? We can talk about personal stuff. That's what I would do if I were him. I would be like, you really want to talk about personal stuff? Because I don't think you want to go there, Kamala. And the thing is, that's never brought up with her because you can't do that. You can't do it to a woman because it's mean, but it's okay to do that with him.
But I just don't think he needs to be the person to do it. You know what I mean? He's got so many good things to run on. And nobody's talking about it. You know what everybody's talking about? Freaking 2025. He's busy backpedaling from something that he didn't even have any involvement with. Meanwhile, her trajectory is on this huge upswing. We are focusing as a party on all the wrong shit. It is making me insane.
Well, we're not focusing on anything because we're on the defense, Mock. We're on our heel. We're on our heels. We're not focusing on anything. They've got the total advantage when it comes to the media. So we're not able to focus on anything, which is why he has got to debate her. He has to.
We'll see. I've got a clip of him talking about that. And I don't know, man.
He has to. And he has to go in swinging. He has to. He has to be the one in control of that situation, not her.
God, I'm very worried about who is handling him, if anyone. And you'll see more of why that is. Because her night last night could not have gone any better, honestly, except for this weird thing that she did with the whole, I'm going to just create a new accent to pander. This is the last clip that we'll show from the rally. But this is like where it got ridiculous.
And you all helped us win in 2020, and we're going to do it again in 2024. Yes, we will.
What's with the voice?
Yes, we will.
2024.
Why does she do that with her voice? I'm serious. Why does she do that? I'm asking that. It's a legit question. She changes her voice depending on what audience she has. It's like, remember
code switching.
Well, Clinton did that. Hillary Clinton used to do that.
Yeah.
Remember when she would talk to like a Southern audience, she would do the whole like really terrible Southern accent. Do you remember when she would do that? Yeah.
God.
It's such pandering.
It is pandering. And the people that the sheep eat it up instead of realizing that they're being pandered to.
Yes.
It's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
The reaction, it was very, very similar to mine. Like I was like, oh shit. When I watched that rally, I was like, this is not good. Bill O'Reilly complimented it. Matt Walsh said the Kamala camp is running to the right on crime and immigration, while Trump is moving to the left and denouncing Project 2025 as too radical. Hint to the Trump camp, this is not an election where you need to go to the left. Stop it, please.
I don't necessarily agree with that. He's denouncing Project 2025 because he is nowhere connected to it.
Right.
And that's everywhere. I think it's totally fine for him to say, I'm not connected to Project 2025 as much as humanly possible, because that is their biggest talking point. So I don't necessarily agree with him on that. I don't.
He's going to have to chase the next talking point, which is the fact that they're going to run on the border now and being tough on crime.
Ridiculous.
Which is insanity.
I mean, just look around.
Yeah. But if you guys watched Trump on Laura Ingraham the other night, he doesn't do particularly well in interviews. And it's a problem because then he creates more things that he then has to defend. And so this person was talking about that interview, saying that Ingraham said regarding Kamala Harris, Trump says she's more radical and more to the left than Biden. So Laura said, well, she's moving to the middle. And so Trump's response was to say, in politics, where you start is where you are. And this is a line that he's used before. And so this guy was like, if I'm sitting in a room with Trump and we're going over these Q&A in advance, and he says this about people are where they start out, he's going to stop him and say, okay, well, then how do you square that with JD, who used to absolutely hate your guts? It's one of those things that he's going to get caught out on. And so there's all these people, like random strangers on the internet, are desperate, like I am, to help him, like to not continue to mess up. And it worries me that he gets in his own way, especially when it comes to the energy right now. So this guy's like, I don't see the GOP rallying us young men, jumping on social media, connecting with their voters, hosting more events. If Republicans want to win, they need to learn how the game works and play it right. I'm watching the left play the game, and they're doing a damn good job of it. Step the F up or lose out.
Okay, well, I hear that. One of the things that I will say is you got to call these people out on their bullshit. I do that. You got it. Like when you guys see the project, 2025 stuff, because it's all over the place. Tell people you're lying. You're lying. Get educated, you morons, and tell them that they're lying, because you can't just let that stuff perpetuate. That happens. So call them out on their crap when you see it. We need to do more of that. As a party, we've always been like so polite, and no one ever. You just let that stuff go, and when you let it go, it does perpetuate. And then it just becomes narrative. Yeah. And then people think that it's true. So call out lies where you see lies. I mean, people on our side need to become more vocal about that kind of stuff. Whatever it is. It's not just that one point, but all the points. And so we need to become more vocal. We need to become more involved. We need to become involved locally. I mean, we are not as good at the stuff as they are. And we've been saying that for 15 years. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that, I just don't want to get involved, or I can't make a difference, or I can't do that, or I give up.
Or I don't want to have a Facebook fight.
Right. I don't want to have a fight with anybody. It's like, and so you don't have to fight. You just have to say, you're wrong. And this is why. Here are the facts. Here's the data. I mean, I'm sorry about your feelings, but facts overweigh them.
That's right. Facts over feelings. And this is the other thing that was making me crazy, is that Kamala's dropping like huge amounts of money on these attack ads in all the swing states. She's about to get all this positive press from Georgia, and Republicans are talking about trying to defend the cat lady comments, talking about Project 2025, talking about Willie Brown. We're not helping. We're not making improvements.
I don't know.
Doing the right things.
I still think it's funny because she is kind of a hoe. So, I mean,
I just don't think that's helpful.
It is
Byron
for
York
me.
said, Harris is now arguing that she's much, much tougher on border security than Trump. Trump's talking a big game about securing our border, but he does not walk the walk, she says. One interesting fact, Trump has already been president, and you can compare their records. But as Josh from the Ruthless podcast pointed out, Trump camp needs to be prepared to nail her to the wall on her record. If she can say this, she can and will say absolutely anything. And will he be prepared to say exactly what his record was instead of, just insulting her? That's the question.
Yeah.
And CW's right. Like Charles is like, this is when the press will launder whatever you say. That's how she's so confident and able to say these things, because she knows the press is in her pocket.
Of course she does. This is the thing. I mean, even if they have a really great debate and he wins, she'll still win.
Really?
Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah.
Because the press will make her win. I don't know. I mean, they couldn't do that with Biden, although they couldn't have. There's no way
they couldn't do it with Biden because he was completely insane. He was asleep at the wheel. You could not spin that in any other way.
Yeah,
Plus, I think eventually they were going to throw him under the bus, and they were going to have this coup, and we could go into a whole discussion about that. But when it comes to her, they're absolutely going to make her the winner, no matter what. It's like I mean, Trump could demolish her. Look at what they're doing. They're changing the narrative on everything. She is
amazing.
A colossal loser. She's an ineffective, inept twit. And they are making her into a deity. What, in 2 weeks they've done that?
It's
2 weeks.
incredible.
Right. They will make
and
her
it is
winner.
working. New York Post put this article out saying that she has erased his advantage in all the battleground states, and it's all of them. It's 7 battlegrounds, has her leading now. Not by a lot, but by anything is a big deal because he was much ahead when it was him against Biden. So it's obviously the narrative playing has had an impact. And the one thing that I thought Tyrus made this really good point that I haven't heard from anybody else about, because like there's a lot of Democrats that are trying to be cautiously optimistic, but they're also saying, well, this is the honeymoon phase, right? And so every honeymoon comes to an end and then like real life sets in.
Right.
But he was like, no, that's not what this is. Here's his take.
So well, but there is no honeymoon. Okay, let's stop with the honeymoon talk. The left media is saying it's a honeymoon. If this is a honeymoon, it's like prima nocta, okay, to the American people. Look it up, Jesse. But it's outraging. There's no integrity in this. It doesn't matter because Trump is not running against Kamala. He's not running against Biden. He's running against Trump. That's all this is about. Trump has to beat Trump. He has to have moments where he untrumps himself. He's got to pull back. Calling her names, they want that. They want the bloodbath. They want him to come out there because guess what? We'll all be laughing and we'll be hashtagging, but half the country that works for the living is going to be like, why is he always talking? Just stick to policies.
I totally agree with him.
Okay. I guess, okay.
There's definitely going to be a lot of Team Daisies out there. I don't question that at all.
I'm not saying that he has to come out and call her a name. I'm just saying that if she comes at him personally, I think he should come back and say, do you really want to do this? Because you have a past, you know what I mean? And I've got a past, you've got a past. You really want to talk about our past? Because we should be focusing on policy, because the left they are absolutely known for trying to destroy this man personally. They have taken a guy who is not racist and turned him into a racist. So you don't think that they've actually completely destroyed this guy personally? I mean, that's what they've done. They've done this for the past 8 years. This is what they've done. So they've made him into a felon. They've turned him into something that he is not personally. They've said that he's some sort of a rapist. It's crazy. And then they make fun of Melania too. They say Melania is some sort of a whore. I've seen that all over the place. I mean, I get a little irritated with the whole hands off on the personal stuff when that's all I've heard about this entire family for 8 years. I'm not saying he has to call her names. I'm just saying that maybe, just maybe, if she says something about that in a debate, just because she's a woman, it's not off limits for him to say, you really want to go there, chick? Because I don't think you want to go there, because I've seen some stuff in your past. And I don't think
I think it would be way better if she tries to pull out the whole "you're a convicted felon." He would be like, "Yeah, let's talk about how that happened," and then say how that happened, how corrupt this entire administration has been. He's got so many.
He
good
does,
comebacks.
But like I said, they're still going to twist it and they're going to make her the winner, because I have seen some stuff over the past 2 weeks that I have never seen in my 15 years of doing this.
Yeah,
it is truly remarkable how powerful our insane communist media is. I've never seen it like this. This is the worst I've ever seen it in the time we've been doing this. The absolute worst I've ever seen it.
Same, for sure.
And I would not put it past them to be able to pull out a win for her, even if she was a complete failure in a debate. It's the power that they wield, you guys, it's crazy. I've never seen anything like it.
Well, we're gonna switch gears and have some positive news, because I knew everybody would get brought down by how Kamala's got the upswing right now. But there is some light, and we're gonna get to that. Math Nerd Knitter says, I would pay big bucks to hear/see a mock debate between Austin Nasso and SD. Oh my, Austin Nasso is the Trump impersonator.
Oh yeah.
That would be absolutely hilarious. Brian Wolf says, I'm the MC for the Hocking Hills Bigfoot Festival in Ohio this Friday and Saturday. I can firmly state that Sasquatch was not involved in the attempted assassination. So squatch on and God bless. Okay. Lisa Bright says, was not Trump-like, needed celebrity. Oh, the rally, I guess, was not Trump-like, needed celebrity. Some empty seats, no crowds waiting in droves outside, no thousands lining the streets for miles. I mean, fair. It was definitely not, it was not as big as a Trump rally, but you cannot really deny that there was
a lot of energy.
There was a lot of, and it was full. Like, I mean,
yeah.
So maybe there wasn't a line out the door, but it was totally full.
Total side note. You know what I'm really mad about? I just have to get this out. I'm really mad that JD Vance is not going to have the opportunity to debate Kamala.
I know.
I'm really mad about that. I was really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And that sucks that we're not going to ever see that.
Yeah, that really does suck, because that would have been a good debate for sure.
Yeah.
Jen says, how do you catch a unique rabbit? Unique up on it.
Unique up on it.
Sorry, just take my money, she says. Jason Decker says, these people came for a concert and stayed for air conditioning. Trumpers endure heat for 3 hours just to see him. Yeah, I'm not denying that at all. But you know what was really, I was stunned to read, and this was from Scott Pressler, who of course is like amazing, right? He's constantly registering people to vote. He's out there on the ground better than anybody else in the world.
Yeah, he's awesome.
And he said that he tries to attend the big Trump rallies because 13% are registered voters.
Oh my!
And I was like, are you freaking? So it's great to be excited and to go attend his rallies, but if those people are not translating into votes, what the hell are we doing?
Yeah, I believe it though. I totally believe it. Just
God,
the low voter turnout here in Texas. And I mean, we saw what happened with the red wave. I mean, there's a lot of people who get excited and they're engaged online, but they do not show up to vote.
Oh my God, that's infuriating.
I would like to know how many registered voters there were at the Kamala rally.
Yeah, that's a great question. Or if they were registering voters there.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if you had to register to get in. That's what I swear we should start doing that.
Yeah. Bo Mama 8 says, I feel you, Daisy, so much, but I have to agree with Mock. We can't lower ourselves to their mudslinging, name calling. Trump has to debate her and go at her with facts, hard facts, and tell her to swallow that. I said guard. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Whatever that last sentence was, guard facts. I don't know if that's the right word, but I don't. Anyway.
Yeah, but in saying swallow that, he could just like look at the camera and wink, you know? That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. Okay,
wink, you guys. She just needs a little wink.
Just need that. That's all. It's it. I'm not asking for much.
Ashley Hibbard says, my 8-year-old daughter Peyton wanted to submit a dad joke. What's a ghost's favorite dessert? Ice cream. Ice cream.
I get it.
I see it. I get you, Peyton. That was a good one.
Good.
And Heather Malloy says, at what point can Trump sue for slander? Well, you know, that's a great question, except that politics is ugly business, and the level that you have to get at to be slanderous is so freaking high that I don't know.
And then you got to get to court, and you have to have a jury, and you have to have a judge. And as we've seen, it doesn't work really well in his favor these days.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But we do have this. This is from the 538 website, Nate Silver. He's published his first election model update since the Kamala swap, and Trump is now favored in terms of the electoral college winning. Harris is favored in the popular vote, but still an electoral college underdog. And a lot of people think Nate Silver is the best in the business. So take that however you want to take it. I thought that was great. You know, I mean, we need some good news,
That's
right?
the good news. We need some good news. I'll take it.
Yeah. And then the Project 2025 leader, Paul Dans, has now stepped down because of all of the hullabaloo that they have caused. Because they've been a huge headache, honestly, for President Trump.
They really have. And people are asking, what's so bad about it? It's really not that bad. It's just that it's 900 pages of a wish list from the Heritage Foundation, and it is not the policy foundation for Trump. There are two very different things. He has his agenda, Trump does, and it is entirely separate from this. But for some reason, I think it's because it is a wish list and there's a lot of stuff in there. Listen, there's stuff that I like. Then there's stuff I'm like, I'm not so sure about. But they're separate. And liberals keep lying about it. I mean, the people who are running for Kamala's lying about it. It's infuriating.
It is.
I mean, that's why people have to call them out on this all the time.
And I don't even know what him stepping down, like what good does that actually do?
It doesn't.
Harris's team is going to keep using it as a talking point. But yeah, it is infuriating. Another good piece of good news is that the National Association of Black Journalists has invited and Trump has accepted to have a conversation with Black journalists at its opening day at their convention in Chicago. That is happening today.
It's today. That's awesome.
It is today. And interestingly, there were a whole bunch of Black journalists who were pissed off about it. Here's an example. So Karen Phillips said, this is the single dumbest and worst decision in NABJ history. Whoever made this call is an idiot, and I'll say it to their face this week. And so Tia Mitchell said, I helped make this call, and it's in line with invitations NABJ has sent to every presidential candidate for decades, but go off on your feed. I'll continue to work to create opportunities for journalists to interview the potential next president.
Right. Good for her. What? Because he's white. He's a white dude. And so he's not allowed to like talk to Black journalists. Again, you're racist.
Yep.
Look in the mirror. God, these people.
And then another positive for Donald Trump is that he has agreed to do a live stream with a hugely popular gamer live streamer that I have never heard of until this morning. But his name is Aiden Ross, and he announced this on his live stream just
guys,
yesterday.
and I'm really, really blessed and happy to be in the situation. What I'm about to say. August 5th, which is next Monday, I have a stream with the President Donald Trump.
Wow.
We've been working on this for weeks, months. It's officially locked in. We will have a live stream with President Donald Trump on August 5th, and it's gonna be insane. It's gonna be probably around like 1 p.m. Eastern time. I'll have a stay up to date on my socials, but it's 100% locked in. And I just got the clearance to announce. And I just want to say thank you so much to the Trump team and everyone that helped me get involved with this. I want to shout out a lot of people as well, but I will towards closer to that stream. I'm just super pumped. Thank you so much to Dana. Dana White really helped me align this together. Thank you so much, Dana. I really appreciate it, man. This could be by far one of the most important streams I've ever done in my life. I also want to shout out to Barron as well.
That's very smart.
Very smart.
Very, very smart. And I mean, what an astute thing for him to do. Like, props to whoever set this up. I don't know who, I'm assuming, I don't know if Dana White had like all to do with this, or like if he said, hey, Mr. President, you need to start doing this sort of thing. Cause listen, I don't understand all this streaming stuff either. I don't know why people like to watch other people play video games. I don't get it.
Same.
It doesn't make any sense to me. It's not my bag, but I'm also not a Gen Zer. I don't play in that space. I don't get it. I'm old. So, it's like we're shaking rakes at that. I just don't do that. Like even the set makes me a little uncomfortable because it's so dark.
Yeah.
And
I don't understand the appeal, but this guy, you guys, he's 23. He is worth like $16 to $20 million.
Yeah.
And it's all from creating this platform. He has millions upon millions of followers on every single social media platform. So combined, we're probably talking like 25 million people follow this guy religiously. So it is a huge deal. Super excited about it.
Yeah. Somebody asked if
it goes well.
Somebody asked if Barron may have had input, but I don't see Barron as the kind of guy that would like be watching.
Well, he thanked him at the very end, and that's why people are wondering. Yeah, and thanks also to Barron.
Okay, well maybe he does. I'm sure he knows about all of these people because he is a Gen Z, or is he a Gen Z or Gen Alpha? He's a Gen Zer, probably. Gen Z.
I forget where that cuts off.
Yeah, I don't know either. But anyways, but he's young and he knows all this stuff, right? So, I mean, Barron he's hip and young and like in college now. So this is smart.
Very smart. Now, I don't know if that guy is a Kamala person. I don't know if he's having Kamala on, like if this is a, both sides kind of thing. I have no idea. I just know what you saw. That's all I know. So that is going to be great. So August 5th, I think, is the date that he said that was happening. Yeah. So we'll keep an eye on that. Just wanted to go back to this whole idea of Trump debating Kamala, which is so important, but he doesn't sound particularly interested in doing that. And you'll hear, it's this overconfidence that I think he has where he's like, well, I'm leading in all the polls and I don't need to debate her because everybody already knows how bad she is. And that's a terrible strategy. And I hope he has advisors around him who are telling him and encouraging him otherwise. But here's what he said to Laura.
I also want to shout out to Barron as well.
Why not debate her? Well, wait. But because they already know everything. She wants to defund our police. She wants no bail. She wants no cash. You kill somebody and we're going to release you immediately. They call it cashless. By the way, this has been a horrible thing for our country. This has been what I just said. But we know where she is. She wants high taxes. Well, they're going to say you're afraid of debating her. That's what they're going to say. Well, they said that with Biden, too. I was afraid. I did great with Biden, and I did great in every debate. I've had a lot of debates. But you're winning on all the issues, but, right? I'm leading in the polls by, I think, a lot. I don't know. I hear different numbers. I'm leading in all of the polls. I'm leading big in all of the swing states.
I can't. Just like, this is the shit that makes me want to
I know,
scream.
but I can see where he's frustrated because he's like, my God, they've changed their person. They're a complete disaster over there. Like, get your shit together, Democrats, right? I get it. I kind of get where he's coming from. But at the same time, he's got a debater.
He's got a debater.
Because remember, he did this in the primaries and it drove me crazy.
Yeah, that's right.
It drove me insane. Right. I'm like, dude, you can't just say I'm doing great in the polls. Like, this is part of the process. This is, and I will stand by that. This is how I feel. It's how I felt during the primaries. I feel this way now. This is part of the process. You've got to do this. You've got to take her down.
He should be like absolutely saying, I cannot wait to debate her.
Right.
The Democrats are in complete disarray, total chaos, but bring it on.
Yeah.
Bring it on anytime, any place.
You've got to be Clubber Lang and Rocky, and you've got to be going in there swinging.
That's right.
That's what you've got to do. Take her down.
I know I'm going to get a lot of people mad when I say this, but Arizona just had their their senator race primary, and it was between Sheriff Mark Lamb and Kari Lake. And as you know, we've had Kari Lake on our show. I'm a little bit afraid of her, not going to lie. She's a very divisive figure in the state of Arizona. She's intense. She's intense. That's a great word for her.
Very intense.
Very intense. She won her primary, and I think she's going to now lose in the general, which is just another example of what happens when we make not great decisions in our primaries. And so this is what Banshee over on Twitter said. We're going to lose a winnable seat because a former sheriff with all the right views and all the right qualifications didn't get permission to run against Kari Lake, who is getting her clock cleaned by the radical Democrat who she's going to run against in the general. Very, very frustrated because although, Kari's fine, she is without question a very divisive figure and only liked by a small base. That base won her the primary, but it was only 40%. And so what that means is that we're very likely to lose a winnable seat, just like Banshee said.
General, right.
And here is Mark Lamb. This was before the results, but here he is talking about how he was told he needed permission from Trump to even run, which I think is just freaking
and said,
insane.
hey, we want you to do this, but you got to get out of the Senate race. I said, no, I appreciate that, but I can't get out of the Senate race. I support Trump. I'm not getting out of the Senate race.
This stuff makes me crazy.
I know. I have mixed feelings about all this because if you want to run for something, you shouldn't need permission, right? But at the same time, I really wish these people would quit airing this laundry out and like deal with their own shit because it just makes us look like Democrats. Just go deal with your politics on your own and handle it because we've got elections to win. And it's already bad enough for Trump right now. It's already bad enough. So why do you got to go out there and do this and put him on blast? Because this drives me insane. It does. Like,
there's so many things that drive us insane right now.
Right. It's like, it's quit being a girl. I feel like this is Mean Girls and stop it. Like, quit gossiping and quit being a girl. God, I don't like it. You have a cowboy hat on. Should you be doing that? It's antithetical to the whole cowboy hat thing.
Becca T in South Carolina said, on a positive note, I went to the Rock the Country concert with Kid Rock and Jason Aldean this past weekend. Amazing shows in the rain and mud, but the energy was off the chain for Trump. That needs to be the new RNC tool for campaigning. Love that. Love it. That's great. I'm about to show you one of the best campaign ads in the history of campaign ads. It's not Kamala. It's not Trump. It's not anybody except for Jerome Davidson, who is running in Arizona. This is glorious.
Democrats like to say that no one needs an AR-15 for self-defense, that no one could possibly need all 30 rounds. But when this rifle is the only thing standing between your family and a dozen angry Democrats in Klan hoods,
oh my God,
you just might need that semi-automatic and all 30 rounds.
That is awesome.
Right? The greatest.
So freaking great.
So great.
God,
oh my God. I know. I love it too. See, I told you we bring you back up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We bring you down, but we bring you back up.
Yeah, just like it's a roller coaster ride always. The Chicks on the Right show.
It's all about tapestry.
We got you.
And then I saw this flashback the other day and I was like, oh my gosh, you guys are gonna love this. This is back in the day when everybody loved Trump in the celebrity world, right? Everybody loved him and he did silly shit and it was great. And here, I'd completely forgotten about this, but this is him with Karen from Will and Grace singing a song.
Here to sing the theme from Green
Awesome.
Acres. Please welcome
Oh my God, I remember
Donald Trump
this.
and Will and Grace's Karen Walker.
Look at
Green Acres is the place to be. Farm living is the life for me. Land spreading out so far and wide. Keeping hot, just give me that countryside.
New York is where I'd rather stay.
I can't.
I get allergic smelling hay. Just adore a penthouse view. Darling.
Anyway, that's a thing that happened, and I freaking love that.
And you know that now she's like, he's racist. I
Oh my God,
can't
I
stand
hate
him. I hate him so much. He's so gross. He's orange. You know that's how she feels. There was another one I
Totally.
saw the other day of him coming out on The View. Back when The View loved him, they adored him. There was a time where they actually adored him. And Joy Behar like ran his feet, like put her hands in his hair. I mean, they loved him. And then he became a Republican. And again, with the media, now we're seeing it. It's so blatant what the media is doing. But in the before times, yes, Jennifer, in the before times, it was a little bit less severe. Like, I feel like it was just more like it was under the radar what they were doing. And they did it with Trump. It's a case study in media, what they've done to Trump. Like it's a sociology experiment. It's crazy what they've done to him and how people have bought into it.
Yep. You guys remember because we showed her 2 days ago. Well, I think actually we've shown her every day this week, but we showed her because she was one of the speakers at the White Women for Kamala thing. She goes by Mrs. Frazzled. She's that gentle parenting weirdo.
Yeah.
Mary Katharine Ham. God love her. Mary Katharine Ham did a response video to it, and it is perfection.
Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O. It seems like we've had a little misunderstanding. Sounds like some of you have some silly goose thoughts about race-segregated political meetings. Catch a bubble. We do have special meetings for white women and white men. These people are gathering because they don't want to, does anybody know, because they don't want to be around people of other races? No, that is a super sad choice of how to characterize that. They're gathering together because they don't want Republicans elected. We have to fight white supremacy, friends, by joining white-only groups of friends.
Right.
I know that sounds ironic, but if we put our listening ears on, we can learn about racism for the right reasons. That's what we're doing. Got it? And I'm not gonna let your unkindness mess with other people's joy in their whites only meetings.
Yeah.
Can you do? No, you cannot do this. No one else can do this. Only Democrats can safely gather in whites only affinity groups with matching hats. There's no history there.
No.
Do you have some big feelings about that?
Big feelings.
Okay, maybe this will make you feel better. Yes, there are, of course, meetings for Democrats of all other races. The meetings are separate but equal.
I mean, it's like, who's going to tell him? Who's going to tell him? These people.
God, I love that so
and they
much.
think they're so pious and so above everybody else. They're just so morally superior, you know? They're elitist, you guys. all the women, all those actress women, they're just like, we're so much better than everybody else because we're all white and we're meeting together as whites. Oh my God. Idiots.
She's gotten like well over 1 million views on this already, and she just posted it yesterday. So it's with good reason. That was perfect.
So great. So
Laura
great.
Cross, thank you. She says, hi, chicks. I've been listening to you guys since about 2016. So I figured it's time I ponied up. Thank you so much for that. And Ivy Tatum said, Dad Joke Wednesday, if she don't hawk Tua, I don't want to talk Tua. Oh my gosh. All right. Now it is time for your double D.
I forget what it is.
Oh, it's the Seinfeld.
Oh my gosh, yes. I saw this Jerry Seinfeld clip and I really loved it. I just wanted to share it with you guys.
Can you tell the Warren Beatty anecdote?
Sure. It's heartbreaking though. You sure?
Yeah.
He says one of the nice things God does is that he doesn't let people who don't have kids know what they're missing.
And then you have them and a part of your brain opens up.
Yeah, then a network opens up that you didn't know was in there.
People got so mad about that.
Really?
Yeah, people got really mad about that because it's the people without kids who got mad about it. And they were like, or maybe we're just like really happy without kids, you jerk.
Oh my God.
Because everybody gets offended by everything nowadays. But I thought it was lovely. I thought it was just a lovely sentiment, you know, that he came out and he said, you know, God does a wonderful thing. He doesn't tell you how much you're missing. I thought it was very lovely.
Which is why they're all so mad.
Yeah. I mean, listen, right.
I mean, it would be different, right?
I didn't have a baby until I was 39. And then when I had her, I always had that feeling of like something's missing. I don't know. I've always been like a type A overachiever person. I'm like, I got to search for the next thing. You know what I mean? You know, I am. I don't sit still. And then when I had Gwen, I was like, oh, I had like a feeling of like calm. You know what I mean? So I felt like that was it. That was the thing that was missing. But it's just interesting. But I mean, listen, if you choose not to have children, and we know people that have chosen not to have children, that's fantastic too. I just think that was a lovely sentiment on his part.
Yeah,
you know?
I thought that was fine.
Right.
Okay, so for my pillow talks today, I'm going to start out with a really weird one because somebody went to a hotel where they were having a convention of those people. What are they called? The preborns? Not the preborns, the reborns.
The dolls?
Reborns. Yes. So can you imagine going to a hotel where all the people in the hotel are carrying around fake children?
No.
That is what this person
I'd check out. I'd check out and go to another hotel.
That would be the stuff of nightmares, you guys. Look at this crazy. And there's no sound, but it's just like all of these kids that you see are fake. These are not real kids.
What is happening? Oh my God. That one looks like Chucky.
Right? They're like
that?
toddler sized.
Oh my God. This is a thing. They actually have conventions. What do they do at the conventions? What do they do? They have like breakout sessions where they all like care for their fake babies. And what happens at one of these? Does anybody know? Is anybody part of this?
Oh my God. This is insane. Like, this is super, super creepy.
Yeah, this is a thing. Who knew?
I know, right? Like this, I did not.
Look at, she's like, let me brush your fake baby's hair. I can't. I'm sorry. It's just so freaking weird.
I had to
That's
share.
at a
That was,
hotel.
like, a thing
BTK.
I could not know by myself.
Yeah, BTK. That's a hotel. Which if I were at that hotel, I would seriously. I'd check out. I'd be like, I can't. I got to go to another hotel. This is just really weird.
Mm-hmm. So here's an itty bitty baby whose dad has a twin brother. And this baby is meeting that brother for the first time.
Oh my God.
Very, very confused.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh. That has got to be so weird for him. He's like, which one is my dad? Bless his little heart. Oh, bless his heart. He's like, which one is my dad? I don't know.
I know. It's so scary.
That's so cute.
And then I had to cut the music from this one, but this is a guy that's just, I don't know why this is funny to me. This kid's face, he's just showing his baby things that she's never seen before, like throughout the house, right?
Yeah,
And the way that he sets up the camera to capture the baby's reaction to all the new things, she is just, I don't know why this is.
The broom, shaking rakes. So fantastic.
I don't know why that tickled me so much, but I just love that baby.
Babies, because babies rock.
And of course, we will finish the show with a dog. And now this dog knows English. Let's just put it that way. So this is a very common trend on TikTok where you say, like, you pretend you're calling someone on the phone and then you say words that your dog knows to see their reaction. So a lot of people do it by going, oh, you want to go to the park? You want a treat? And then you just see all the head tilts and all that stuff. But the way this one ends is hilarious. Watch.
Hi. Yeah. I was just calling to find out what do good boys get? Oh, they get treats and biscuits? Oh my gosh, they get cookies? Good boys get cookies? Do they go potty? Oh, okay. And then we go to the park for a walk? Oh my gosh. Wow, the dog park?
Oh my God.
Oh, but then they need a bath and have to get their nails done.
That's so great. He's like, I'm out of here. Bye. See ya.
I don't want my nails done.
It's our dog. God, they hate getting their nails done. What is that? And then
like
humans, we love getting our nails done. You
I
know?
don't like it.
I do. I love it.
I don't ever go.
I love it so much, especially my toenails. You can rub my feet all day long.
Anyway, those are your talks for today. And this is officially, I think, our longest show.
Is it really? 2:15. Look at us.
Pretty long,
it's a
man.
record. It's a record.
Pretty long.
You guys
If
bring it in.
people could not do rallies or interviews for the rest of the day, and if there could be no more hearings, okay, can we just have a day?
We're not.
Where we have a normal show.
Not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
For crying out loud.
There's gonna be hearings and rallies and arguments and wars.
Interviews.
Everything's happening.
Oh my God.
Everything, because this is where we are.
This is where we are.
You guys try to have the best freaking Wednesday of your entire life. Do it. Do it for us.
Seriously.
Do it for yourself. Do it for your country. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye everybody.